Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up tonight, the latest on 2 legislative bills dealing with health, insurance covering mammograms, and capping the price of insulin.
Plus, protests over a housing development continued for a second day, and today some trees started coming down.
But first tonight, working to accelerate Nebraska's growth when it comes to businesses and workers. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. The Nebraska Chamber of Commerce says programs and new laws launched our growth last year.
And they're hoping to continue building on that, of course, especially with its priorities for the current legislative session. Let's learn more. Channel 8's Matthew Mittleider joins us here in the studio with our top story tonight. Matthew?
Nebraska Chamber President Brian Sloan says they have a number of goals to draw more workers to Nebraska and grow businesses. They say last year's investments in the community, workforce, and infrastructure helped pave the way for new growth in the state, and they're hoping to accelerate that into this year. Some of the focuses for this year are growing the state's affordable housing and health care, working with the governor's office on tax relief, increasing federal legal immigration, and innovating the technology used in businesses. The chamber says these areas will help to draw in the next generation of young workers.
I've never been more optimistic about where Nebraska is and where it's going. I think the sky's the limit for this state in terms of competitive ability, not only within the United States, but globally.
The chamber says there's a number of bills they're looking out for in the current legislative session that will help them to accomplish their goals. Those bills include LB 610, which matches federal Perkins funding for education, and LB 582, which would launch a pilot program for manufacturers to modernize and address worker shortages. I'll have more on this story tonight at 6 o'clock.
Matthew Mittleider reporting our top story tonight here in the studio. Thank you so much, Matthew. Another bill would force insurance companies to cover mammograms. It was introduced by Senator Elliott Bostar of Lincoln.
It would require insurance to cover at least 1 mammogram for women who are between the ages of 35 and 45. If a woman is under 40 but has a family record of cancer, insurance would cover mammograms as many times as considered by a medical provider that are needed. For women 40 years or older, it should cover 1 mammogram every year.
So if we identify these women and provide additional supplemental screenings, we're going to reduce cancer in Nebraska. I would be amiss to say that, I bet everybody in this room has been affected by somebody or knows somebody or been affected by cancer, and maybe not just breast cancer. What would you have done if you could have prevented that patient from getting that cancer?
This bill does not affect insurance that already covers mammograms and similar care. And staying with health news in the legislature, 2 state senators are proposing caps on insulin prices.
They say this would make it more accessible for Nebraskans. Channel 8's Veronica Barreto joins us now with more on that. Veronica?
Following what other states have been doing, Nebraska could limit how much people pay out of pocket for insulin. The bills discussed today would put a cap on its monthly costs. A bill introduced by Senator Tom Breezy of Albion would cap the out-of-pocket cost of prescription insulin in Nebraska to $100 per month. Senator Elliott Bostar of Lincoln has a bill that would cap the cost to $35 per month. Similar caps have been passed in a number of other states, including Connecticut, Colorado, and Illinois.
Many people who are on insulin are rationing there or else looking for prescriptions outside of the country, trying to find other ways to be able to afford medicine, or they're switching to alternate lower quality products.
The 2 bills were heard jointly because of their similarity. The difference is on how much the cap is. Keep in mind, some people pay thousands of dollars a year out of pocket for their insulin. These bills would have to be approved first in the committee before going to the legislative floor. I will have more on this story at 6 o'clock.
All right, Veronica, thank you. The hearing for a bill to require behavioral and mental health training for certain school personnel was held today as well at the Capitol.
Introduced by Senator Hughes, the bill amends a current law, LB 923, to give schools more flexibility in providing training that focuses on suicide awareness and prevention. Supporters say suicide and behavioral health issues have only gotten worse among students and are one of the leading causes of death. Some also spoke about their personal experiences with suicide and struggling with mental health.
All those years, nearly every other day, I would wake up. The first thought to start my day would be, today's the day to die. I don't know how I made it, but I have. So anytime that we can talk about flexibility and resources and getting those to our youth, I think that's a great thing.
Former Senator Amanda McGill, the original publisher of LB 923, said this amendment would help specify that those who are directly working with kids would be the ones trained. She said it would also make training more accessible and better meet the needs of schools. And speaking of mental health, there's a bill that would provide more services for those needing help.
Centerpoint here in Lincoln says they and other providers need access to care in order to serve the public.
In order to really get there, we've got to continue to increase our resources and our focus on mental health care and substance use care, because those two often go hand in hand. The other is to get a system in place that really provides communities access to whole person care, so you can get the mental health and the substance and get primary care and attend to the housing and other basic needs. You need access to all that.
Hansen says your health care and mental well-being are very important for everything you do. If you or a loved one is experiencing a mental health crisis, you can call Centerpoint's 24/7 crisis hotline. There's the number, 402-475-6695.
Time now for a check of our weather. Meteorologist Jessica Blum is in for rescue today. And Jessica, my goodness, it's a gorgeous day, and I don't think I've seen a cloud the entire day.
I know, I've been tracking this myself. Haven't seen a single one, especially here in southeast Nebraska. Again, it's been just the most beautiful day to be outside, as well as we were talking about earlier, keeping your windows down as you're driving the car around town. But let's take a little look around town, especially around southeast Nebraska. Aurora, her Penner Bathing Solution camera, not a cloud to see. Let's check here in Lincoln, 84th and O. No clouds there either. Well, let's take one more stop around town. Beatrice, Showens Roofing Cam. Sun's starting to set. Don't see any clouds there. It's really been the story all day today. A beautiful day full of blue skies. Satellite radar also showing and proving that same point that I'm trying to make, that there just hasn't been a cloud really for any of us to see, especially here in southeast Nebraska. Another day for us to get into the mid 50s. Again, 51 degrees right now in Lincoln. Our fourth day in a row of seeing low 50s in terms of temperatures in February. Just not that common to see that. The forecast hour by hour tonight, we are going to cool down into the 30s, especially the lower 30s after midnight tonight, dropping into the lower 20s by early tomorrow morning. And then we do have some changes coming into the forecast. We will be warm again for most of the day on Wednesday, expecting 50s again, but there is a slight chance for a mixture off to our south and east that we're going to be tracking, as well as a snow potential on Thursday. Again, this is all going to be coming up in the full forecast. We've got plenty of that to talk about in terms of what we're going to see. It's going to be confined to a certain area tomorrow, and then light snow actually tracking through most of the state coming through Thursday. So a lot more to show you in terms of some of those details and timing that out coming up in the full forecast.
Sounds great, Jessica. Thank you very much. Now to some other news. Police are investigating a crash involving a Lincoln Public Schools bus this morning.
It happened at 27th and Old Cheney a little before 8 o'clock this morning while the bus was on its way to Hill Elementary. Now, Lincoln Public Schools, they say no one on the bus was injured. Police say no one in the car was seriously hurt either. They are, though, still investigating how exactly the crash happened. New details tonight regarding at least 3 stolen trucks early yesterday morning.
Police say around 5 a.m. officers chased a number of stolen vehicles to the area near South Folsom Street and West Denton Road. That's just west of Highway 77. Police say 19-year-old Jesse Muratapia fell out of the bed of a stolen truck as it fled LPD. He was taken into custody. LPD is still searching for the other suspects involved. Happening now, a call to action from the Mesquite Prayer Camp as it continues to try and stop a housing development project from starting. More members of the group are rallying to preserve their sacred land at Wilderness Park after a tense day of protests yesterday.
Yeah, today marked the second straight day of demonstrations and arrests. You can see here police approaching some protesters, handcuffing some of them as they tried to stop construction. Now, this is all taking place there near First and Pioneers. 5 people were arrested today. 1 was arrested yesterday, and we're told the charges basically range from trespassing to failure to comply.
And although work was stopped after yesterday's protests, crews were taking down trees today at the site. This video provided to us by the Mesquite Prayer prayer camp. Lincoln police say they're focused on making sure everyone is safe and that the protest remains peaceful. The Special Victims Unit for LPD has been moved to a new location in Lincoln. As of last week, the unit was relocated to the Brave Bee Child Advocacy Center.
That's right. The goal is to give children of abuse a safe environment to tell their stories. The center often teams up with Lincoln police officers to investigate cases. The officers can conduct interviews with the children, again, in a safe place like that they feel comfortable. Also at the center, medical evaluations are done, and the staff helps them create a plan for the future.
This project has been years in the making, and we are truly grateful for the public-private partnership that will impact the most vulnerable and resilient members of our community. Being on site and working together day in and day out allows for that collaboration to happen much more quickly and more efficiently, which in turn we hope will lead to increased prosecutions and better outcomes for our victims.
Mayor Leary and Gaylor Baird was present at the Brave Bee Advocacy Center today and says this is a way for the city to be more proactive in helping children who are victims of abuse. We're going to hear from her and from LPD Chief Teresa Ewens coming up tonight on our newscast at 6 o'clock. And coming up on our news here at 5, President Biden preparing to deliver the State of the Union address tonight.
We'll discuss some of the topics he's expected to touch on right after the break.
At iMart Express,
Well, Capitol Hill is abuzz as Republicans and Democrats prepare their responses to a highly anticipated major political speech. In fact, in just a few hours here, President Biden is set to deliver his second State of the Union address.
It'll be his first since Republicans took control of the House. He's expected to highlight legislation where his administration sees potential for across-aisle teamwork. He'll also emphasize several bipartisan policy wins over the last year, like the PACT Act, which expanded health care for veterans, and the Safer Communities Act, signed into law in the wake of the Robb Elementary School shooting, where 21 were killed last May.
He's going to talk about the accomplishment that he's made the last 2 years. He's going to talk about how the wages are up, how inflation is finally starting to cool the last 6 months. He's going to talk about the record jobs that we have been able to create.
Its address comes as lawmakers argue whether to raise the national debt limit, which puts a government shutdown back on the table. There's also divided opinions on Biden's response to the suspected Chinese spy balloon. Newly elected governor of Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, will be delivering the Republican response.
And Congressman Mike Flood is commenting ahead of the president's State of the Union address. He says Biden needs a plan to address the nation's inflation.
The president needs a plan to deal with inflation and get spending under control. This starts with putting a stop to Washington's overspending, and that's a top priority for myself and the House Republican majority. From the IRA spending spree last summer to the lame duck omnibus spending by Joe Biden and Washington Democrats has driven record persistent inflation.
ABC's coverage of the State of the Union begins tonight at 8 o'clock right here on Channel 8, followed by our 10 o'clock newscast. The Nebraska governor's race was the most cost-heavy election in state history.
Campaign finance reports a staggering $29 million spent in 2022 by candidates. The Nebraska Examiner says Charles Herbster spent the most, even if we include numbers from the general election, including in-kind donations from his businesses. Herbster self-financed over 99% of his campaign. He raised and spent over $13 million. The runner-up was Governor Jim Pillen, who raised a total of $11.5 million.
Now, your Storm Alert team forecast with meteorologist Jessica Blum.
Boy, what a stretch of warm weather we've had, even going back as far as this past weekend. Highs reaching the 50s for now 4 days in a row. Looking at high temperatures across the state, upper 30s in a few spots, but middle 40s again throughout most of central portions of the state, still having some snow cover on the ground. But let's zoom into southeast Nebraska. That's really been the story of the past couple days, including Lincoln being one of the warmer spots on the map. 52 degrees is the high temperature as of right now that we're recording. 48 in Nebraska City. Even Falls City didn't reach quite as warm of a temperature that we saw today, and they've been even upwards in the 60s, even looking at yesterday. But we've experienced this warmer weather, and we're expected to stay mild for some time, even over the next several hours. Still about 51 degrees here in the capital city, 46 in Nebraska City, as well as 46 in Wahoo and York, 46 also in Aurora, and 50 in Hebron. But looking across the state, a couple areas starting to cool down. 40 in Broken Bow as well as North Platte, 38 now in Ogallala, and 46 in Scottsbluff. But let's zoom out of this picture. We're actually tracking our next storm system is coming to affect us come late tomorrow evening. It's starting to form in western portions of Texas, now starting to overspread showers in Oklahoma, Arkansas, as well as Missouri. Again, this is going to likely move into our area by the later evening hours of Wednesday. But right now, as you can see, we've been talking about wall-to-wall sunshine. No one in the state really experiencing any cloud cover throughout this afternoon and even throughout this morning. But going into the later hours of tonight, again, we're still expected to stay quiet and pretty clear, especially here in southeastern Nebraska. Could see a few clouds in northeastern portions of the state, but as we go forward in time, it's really this next storm system that's going to come up from the south and east. It's going to expand into just extreme portions of southeastern Nebraska going into later hours of Wednesday. Again, this is about 8 o'clock on Wednesday. We're starting to see a mixture of likely snow and rain. Not really expecting any sleet or mixed precipitation in terms of freezing rain out of this, but again, Wednesday night into Thursday, likely to see more of this precipitation overspan. And really later models have shown that most of this is likely to stay most to our south and east. Really could clip some of the southern portions of Lancaster County, but likely staying mostly to the south and east. Really not having many models expand much further west than this, but it doesn't take much to see a little bit of a chance of something. for us going into Wednesday and Thursday. And then again, we've got our next storm system that we're starting to track Thursday afternoon. This is north central portions of the state by Thursday morning. Again, likely to see snow develop and cover across most of the state going into Thursday. But even though this kind of looks heavy, it's not going to be heavy. We don't have a lot of moisture associated with this system either. Really going to bring light snowfall for most of us into the later hours of Thursday and into the early morning hours of Friday before that pushes on and out of here. So really most of us expecting probably less than an inch out of that system as well. But in terms of tonight, temperatures going to be in the lower 20s for most of us, really light southwest winds, a very mild day tomorrow. Again, going to expect some more mild weather into the rest of this week and stay above average for some time, with winds really light tomorrow out of the south as well. And as we can see, heading into this weekend, we do start to cool down Thursday into Friday after our snow system. Again, that's more seasonal for this time of the year, but then look at this weekend. Things are pretty similar to what we saw last weekend. 50s rebounding by Saturday and Sunday. 50s carrying over Monday into Tuesday. And Tuesday's Valentine's Day, and that could be our next chance for some rain, some mixture into next week, as you can see Wednesday and Thursday. But really a mild stretch from here on out. This cold snap even going into Friday, if you can call it that, is really just going to be seasonal temperatures by Friday. And we're going to be really mild and got a beautiful weekend ahead of us too. But we're going to continue to track this system Wednesday into Thursday.
You know, I know this is, nothing new, but just having the sunshine today, not only does it warm the temperatures, but I think it actually warms people's mental health and all that kind of stuff. So it's good to see it, because yesterday
small things at this time of year.
Yesterday was just kind of, for the first 3/4 of the day, it was just kind of gloomy.
Pretty cloudy,
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Jessica. A great day on Wall Street. The Dow gaining 266 points. NASDAQ is up 116. S&P adding 53. Here are your numbers. You're watching Channel 8, Nebraska's trusted news source.
Tonight, the on South 14.
Finally tonight, it's a big day for chemistry enthusiasts. It's a National Periodic Table Day. It's in honor of the table's creation back on February 7th, 1863. The first table was published by English chemist John Newlands.
At that time, there were just 56 elements, well shy of the 118 we have now. It's of course arranged by the atomic mass of each element, starting with hydrogen, which has just 1 proton and 1 electron. To celebrate, give a high five to your chemistry teacher, or, you know, just look up what happens when sodium and water mix. That's pretty neat too.
You know, Megan asked me earlier, Rod, what's your favorite item on the periodic table? I said, Megan, I haven't seen a periodic table since chemistry in 10th grade, so we're talking 40 plus years. I said, I'll go with iron.
Everyone knows I'm a total nerd now.
What's yours?
I like manganese. I think it's a very interesting element.
Jessica?
I mean, it's hard to say. I think some of the later ones are some of my favorites, like Einsteinium, kind of the fun named ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like neon.
Neon's
Noble
cool.
gas.
Yeah. All right. I like weather. Let's get a final check.
Well, let's look at yet another cam that just shows no clouds in the sky right now. Beautiful look over the Star City here in Lincoln. Again, no clouds, but the sun is setting, and look at temperatures around here. Lincoln still one of the warmer spots, 51 degrees here in Lincoln, 48 in Beatrice, as well as 47 in Grand Island. A couple cooler spots in Kearney at Hastings, dipping into the lower 40s. But again, they haven't experienced much cloud cover either, really most of southeast Nebraska. But again, change starts to come in the later hours of Wednesday, but for a majority of the day, especially in southeast Nebraska and here in Lincoln, temperature's going to be mild again. We're going to see a lot of sunshine, south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, getting up into the upper 40s by about lunchtime, and then the lower 50s is where we're going to top out with some of those warm temperatures being mostly sunny throughout the day. And then again, that change comes Wednesday into Thursday. We're going to have snow and rain possible mostly to the south and east, and then that light snow potential moving through most of the state Thursday into the evening hours. Again, going to be a little bit cooler there. Temperatures in the lower 40s. That'll feel like a change compared to what we've been used to over the last several days. But then we cool down a little bit more into Friday with temperatures more seasonal for this time of the year and a lot more sunshine expected by Saturday and Sunday. Going to be a beautiful weekend for those looking to do anything this weekend.
All right. Thank you, Jessica. And thank you for joining us.
Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you right back here at 6 o'clock.
With the Channel 8 News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather, all in the palm of your hand.
The spas are here. Truckloads of spas arriving weekly. Hurry in today. These spas are going fast. Spas are in stock and ready for immediate delivery.
Closed captioning on Channel 8 Eyewitness News is